مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا.
Alhamdulillah, Fadail Ta'ala Azza wa Jalla Sha'nuhu. Today we have the opportunity to be in this blessed gathering for commemoration and remembrance of Imam Hussain alayhi salam on the 10th of Ashura, or which is 10th of Muharram, which is the Arabic word for Ashura, in the 60th year of Hijrah. As we know, we have heard, we remind ourselves every year there are significance of the month of Muharram. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned in his blessed life the significance of Muharram from Adam alayhi salam till Muhammad Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a very significant event when he arrived to Medina. He heard that the Jewish people, as he was building the Muslim community and he was established Islam, he learned that there's another community known, the Jewish community, who were basically Muslim before us, and their Prophet Musa alayhi salam, who fasted on the 10th of Muharram, and they celebrated thanking Allah by fasting. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam wanted us to make not just good, he wanted not to make us a Muslim of a good Muslim, a better Muslim. He wanted us to be a special and distinguished Muslim. So he commanded his companion to fast on the 10th and 9th or 10th and 11th or even all 3 days of the month of Muharram. He said the best month of fasting or best days of fasting is after Ramadan is Muharram. And if one cannot fast on the Ashura, should fast anytime, because Rasulullah said the entire month is blessed month. And then we have 4 months which are blessed month. The Muharram is one of those months. So there are significance of the month of Muharram in its own significance. But today when we are here, I recited the 2 verses from Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Al-Ahzab. First one is, فَمَنْ حَاجَّكَ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. Whoever argued with you, O blessed Rasulullah, Messenger of Allah, beloved, my beloved. فَمَنْ حَاجَّكَ فِيهِ, in this Quran and your prophethood and your Islam and your being the Messenger of Allah. فَمَنْ حَاجَّكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. After they have the ilm, they have the ilm. فَقُلْ, so then, O my beloved, you say, تَعَالَى, you come. نَدْعُ أَبْنَاءَنَا وَأَبْنَاءَكُمْ. We will invite our son and you invite your son. وَأَنفَسَنَا وَأَنفَسَكُمْ. We will come ourselves and you come yourself. وَنِسَاءَنَا وَنِسَاءَكُمْ. And our women and your women. ثُمَّ نَبْتَهِلْ. This ayat al-mubahila of Surah Al-Imran, Surah Al-Imran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says mubahila. Mubahila is an open challenge of destruction for the person who is a liar. Under the open sky, you come and we come. We come and then we bring our children and you bring your children. We bring our women, you bring your women. ثُمَّ نَبْتَهِلْ فَلَعْنَةَ اللَّهِ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. Allah's curse be upon the one who is a liar. When this event happened, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam bring his nafs. He himself came, but he brought another nafs with him. And that was Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, akhi Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Another hadith was asked, who is more beloved to you? He said, Ali. Another time he was asked, who is most beloved to you among women? He said, Fatima. Then was asked, who is most beloved to you in the family? He said, Hasnain Karimain, Imam Hassan and Hussain. These are the status of these people. And then there is a very interesting, beautiful hadith which we hear. Once Huzaifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu, his mother asked him, what are you doing and what are you into? He said, nothing, I was thinking of doing something. This is a hadith from Tirmidhi, very long hadith, let me make it brief. So she said, and he said to him, and she said to him, mother said to the son, Huzaifa radiallahu, she said, why don't you go to ask Rasulullah to seek forgiveness for you and myself and your mother? And he says, that's what I was thinking too. So he went in Maghrib Salah. But he did not have the courage to say this word. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam performed the Salah. And accordingly it is Isha Salah. So when he finished the Salah, Rasulullah started walking in the darkness of the night. Huzaifa radiallahu ta'ala started walking behind him. And when he was walking behind him, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, without turning his back, he says, who is this? Huzaifa? He says, may Allah bless you and your mother. He says, what is your need? He said, I have nothing to say, the needs were already fulfilled. So then he says, Huzaifa, do you know? Right now, Huzaifa is not seeing what Rasulullah is seeing. Right now, an angel who have never come to earth seek permission from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, give me permission. This is the special angel seeking permission from Allah to come down to say salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If Allah is sending angel to send salam to Rasulullah, and if his ummah say, Ya Rasulullah salatu wassalam alayka ya Rasulullah, some mu'min ask us, person who think he's a mu'min, he says, how can you salam Rasulullah, whether standing, sitting or whatnot? So this is a question about, if an angel seek a permission to come to Rasulullah, his ummati cannot say salam to Ya Rasulullah. This is just to think about it, not logic. There's something called intellect. So think about it, if an angel seeking permission never came to earth for saying salam to Rasulullah. So most muhaddithin, they stop here, they don't go further. But then he said something more. He said, do you know this angel has brought me a good news also? The good news is that he's giving a bushra that Fatima beside the Asiya radiallahu anha, mother of Isa alayhi salam, Sayyida Maryam, Fatima bint Muhammad is the leader, Sayyida Nisa of Jannah. All the women of the Jannah, she is the leader. Allah is sending this angel to inform Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then he also gave third news, that Hassan and Hussein are Sayyid al-Shabab al-Jannah, they are the leaders of the youth of the paradise. Now this time, how old Hassan and Hussein could be? When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam passed away, Imam Hassan was about 6-7 years and Imam Hussein was 5-6 years. This must have happened before that. So just imagine, Allah chose them to be there by the will and leave of Allah. So if an angel have a special permission to send salam to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whenever you send salawat upon me, angels of Allah is floating in the sky and they bring to salam to me and salawat to me, and they give the name of the person and his father's name to me. Thing does not stop here. Then what he said? Then I gave them salam. If Rasulullah is giving a reply to my salam, should I listen to my Rasulullah or to somebody who thinks he's a scholar of Islam? Subhanallah. Intellect, so common sense. So there is a hadith about the birth of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, that Fadl, the aunt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, she said, Ya Rasulullah, I had a very bad dream. So he said, what is your dream? She described, a piece of your body flesh was thrown on my lap. He said, this is a beautiful news. She said, what is that? So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, this is the news about Fatima is going to have a baby and you're going to be nursemaid of it, of that baby. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam was born. When he was born, she was the one who took care of him and raised him. And once Salma, the other wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Salma is the only one who lived last, and she lived till the shahadat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So when she came to the room and Rasulullah was playing with Imam Hussein, and then he was crying. Rasulullah is crying for Hussein. So she said, Ya Rasulullah, what happened? Why you're crying? So he said, Jibreel just came to me and brought me this dirt from Karbala. And he said, your ummah, Ya Rasulullah, your ummah will kill this child. They will kill him. And this is the dirt from Karbala. And when this dirt will turn into blood, that is the moment of shahadat of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. This is happening when Imam Hussein is born, which is 3rd or 4th year of Hijrah of Rasulullah. And he loved him so much that he would play with him. When they were born, Imam Hassan was born, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam arrived to the home. And I'm not reading the Arabic text because it's going to take time. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam came to the house of Fatima and Ali radiallahu anhu. And when Imam Hassan was born, he said, bring me my son. Jani ibnini. Mere liye mera beta lekar aa. When they arrived, Rasulullah asked Ali radiallahu anhu, what have you named him? He says, Harab. Ali radiallahu anhu was a warrior, the harb, I mean the warrior, the fighter. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, Allah has sent the name for him, with Jibreel, his name should be Hassan. Then Imam Hussein was born. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, same thing. Ali, what have you named my son? He goes, Harb. He said, no, Allah has named him Hussein. Then the third son was born, Muhsin. So he asked same thing, what have you named my this son? He goes, Harb. Ali wanted one son to be Harb, the warrior, the fighter. He said, no, he is Muhsin. He said, I have named the children like Ibrahim alayhi salam's son Yaqub had Shabir and Mubashir. So I have named them Hassan, Hussein and Muhsin. Muhsin radiallahu ta'ala anhu alayhi salam passed away in a very young age. Some people make the story about Fatima radiallahu ta'ala anhu was pregnant and Abu Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu broke the door and she got injured and she miscarried and they accuse him. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah do not say such words. So there is something to be known. And there's a hadith from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And Hussein bin Ali قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Hadith from Musnad Ahmad 1737. من حسن السلام لعمري قلة الكلام فيما لا يعني وفي رواية ترك ما لا يعني. It means that if a person, the best of Islam of a person is that if he has no purpose in some matter, don't get involved in it. And then do not talk about the things which are not concerning you. We often talk about the things for the gossiping, backbiting and slandering. That was the note, that negative talks about anybody, don't need to do that. So these are the few things, and there are so many hadiths. Nabi ﷺ said, I love Hassan and Hussein. Oh Allah, you love him and love the one who loves them. And he says, I declare war on them. These are multiple hadiths, I'm just making it brief. So, oh Allah, whoever fight with them, I declare war on him. Whoever make peace with them, I make my peace with them. So, Nabi ﷺ in this childhood, when they are little babies, doing that. Once they both walked in wearing a red gown or shirt, and the shirt was a little longer, and they were stumbling and falling down. Rasulullah was making khutbah on the minbar, and he stopped the khutbah for them. And then what he did, he went down and grabbed them and hold them. And then he says, Innama amwalakum wa awladukum fitna. Indeed, your wealth and your children are your test. And he said, I could not see both of them stumbling, and he took them and hold them in his arms and bring them and put them on the minbar, and then continued with the khutbah. Once hadith says, Nabi ﷺ came for a salah and he brought both of them. Another hadith is only Hussein. So Nabi ﷺ, when he was leading the salah after the iqamah, he put them both on the side, one on one side, one on the other side. And when he went into the sajda, they both mounted on Rasulullah's back. And Nabi ﷺ made such a tawil sajda, such a long sajda. Some says, he said almost 70 times people say Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. So he said it, the people were praying behind him. So they were in the impression either he had a wahi coming to him or he is passed away. Finally, when he got up, they said, Ya Rasulullah, we thought something happened or you are having wahi. He said, no, my son were riding on my back. I thought not to disturb them. The salam of the Rasulullah is disturbed, and they say he's not disturbed. And then another time when another person wanted to take them off, he said, leave them alone. So he would not take them off of his back in the salah. A man came to Rasulullah and he saw that Rasulullah is kissing and smelling Hassan and Hussein. And whenever he visits the Fatima radiallahu anhu's house, he would say, bring my son to me, and he would smell them. And then he will kiss them. He will suckle their tongue. He'll put his tongue in their mouths to suckle them. So the man goes, Ya Rasulullah, you like children? You kiss them? I have 11 sons and never kiss any one of them. Nabi ﷺ says, the one who does not have mercy will not have a mercy. I mean, he did not like the man had children, and he would not love them and treat them with kindness and affection. And then once he visited their home, and Imam Hussein and Hassan alayhi salam, he asked for water with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him a water. So Hussein came in and tried to grab the water. He pushed him over. So Fatima radiallahu ta'ala said, look like you love Hassan more than Hussein. He said, no, just because Hassan asked for water first, so let me make him drink, then I will give to Hussein. Once he came to their home, and he found they were hungry. And they were crying from the hunger. So there was a goat, female goat, she-goat, and she had milk dried out in it. Nabi ﷺ touched the udder of the goat, and that started giving milk. And he brought the milk and fed them, both of them. So there are so many things about them that Nabi ﷺ would show affection and love for them. And he is mentioning that I do not ask you for any favor other than لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربى, except the closeness and respect for my beloved. Now this is the test of the Ummah's test. Nabi ﷺ does just not want us to be believers. He wants to be a distinguished and a special believer. Why? When the other nation fast on one day, he wants us to fast extra day. He wanted to fast for the month of Ramadan. And when they were showing gratitude to Allah, thank Allah by fasting in the 10th of Muharram for Musa alayhi salam, he was the Nabi of their nation. There was no need for us to do it. But Rasulullah claimed the prophethood belonging to all the prophets, from Adam alayhi salam to Isa alayhi salam. So he wanted us to be with them, but more than them. He wanted us to get more blessings, so distinguished. You know, everybody is somebody, but when there's a distinguished person comes in, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةً أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ تَعْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ تَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. So he wanted us to be distinguished, so he said, next year, you will make fast on 9th and 10th, or 10th and 11th, or 9th, 10th and 11th. But just do extra fast. And if we cannot fast today, those who are not fasting, it's a nafil fast, which expiate the sin of a last year and coming year. 2 years are washed out from 1 day of fasting. So if we could fast anytime, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us. Now, because time is, how much time, Alisa? Okay. So, Nabi ﷺ says, Hussein minni wa ana min al-Hussein. Al-Hussein sibtu min asbab. This hadith has a lot of meaning to it. Hussein is from me and I'm from Hussein. He didn't say about Hassan this way. Because what was going to happen in Karbala, and Imam Zainul Abidin was take the nation, and today in the most respected and honored people on the earth are Hussainis, which are living, and Hassani both. But Rasulullah ﷺ gave imamat and vilayat. Imamat came to Hussainis, and vilayat came to Hassanis. All the awliya Allah are Hassani. They can be Hassani, Hussaini, but they have to be Hassani to Hussaini. And all the Imam, 12 Imam which we know, they are from Imam Hussain alayhi salam. So he said, this is the meaning of it, and he is grandson of the sons. He's going to make a tribe and a nation of the sons, even though only Imam Zainul Abidin survived in the Karbala. And this is something we should be aware of. And accordingly, every Sahabi knew, since we know 1500 years later, that Rasulullah's resemblance with that Imam Hassan was from waist upward, waist downwards. Imam Hussein's looked like him. And when Imam Hussein's head was separated, how did the people identify him? From his body. And this is how it was. Now, one thing also be understood. Why was this whole Karbala event happen? And there are khutbat from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So I will bypass some of the things. There are certain important points I want to bring to our attention. We often talk about, look, there's a lot of people who are commemorating and wailing and crying. Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, he gave a khutbah. And this was from Imam Ibn Jarir. In this khutbah, he described after Salat al-Asr, Sayyidina Imam Hussein al-Islam turned towards the people and he made the hamd, the salah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he says, Ya ayyuhan nas, oh you people. Who were those people? They were the 1,000 soldiers with, what was his name? Hur bin Riyahi. Hur bin Riyahi was the general of that 1,000 soldiers which were sent by Ibn Ziyad from Kufa to stop Imam Hussein al-Islam. And the orders were just to stop him, and the options were given, which he said, I have been ordered to stop you, not to fight with you, and not to let you go anywhere. When Imam Hussein said that if you do not want me, if the people of Kufa think I am not supposed to be coming to Kufa, then let me go back to Medina. He said, I cannot, because my orders are set. Imam Hussein al-Islam offered him to make salah with him, and he did pray with him. But he said, I will make salah with you, but my salary is paid by Yazid. I am servant of Yazid. What power does, what money does to people. Hur bin Riyahi was a very honest, and then Imam Hussein al-Islam, he says this, have fear with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and pay the dues of the people who deserve it and identify those who deserve it to be. And if you do any act for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we Ahlul Bayt have the right to be the rulers of the Muslim Ummah, and those who are doing a transgression and zulm and oppression to you people. And if you do not believe that we are such people to deserve to be ruler over you, then let me go back. And then he said, I'm not here because of my own reason. You people invited me, and according to the historical narration, one narration is 3,000 letter, one is 6,000, and one is 12,000 maximum letter in 2 bags full of things. And then Hur bin Yazid bin Riyahi, he said, by Allah, I do not know who sent you these letters. I'm not the one. But then Imam Hussein al-Islam asked Uqba bin Sam'an, who was his servant. He said, bring those letters. He brought 2 huge bag full of letters, and he showed them that. And then Hur bin Riyahi said, I have one command, and I am going to obey my orders. See what power does when a soldier in Pakistan and in any Muslim country, when they are told to shoot Muslim, they are shooting their own citizen. On the command of who? The tyrant sitting on top of them. What is going on right now in our country? And it happened in Egypt, it happened in Saudi, it happened in Iraq, it happened in all the countries. The people of the power played the power against the citizens of the people. Sayyidina Usman radiallahu anhu, when he was asked, we can take care of these rebellious people because they broke the bay'ah, Imam Hussein never made the bay'ah on Yazid. What Imam Usman radiallahu anhu said, I do not want the blood to be shed of any human, of a Muslim, for my account. Imam Hassan gave his power to Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. What's the one logic? He said, I do not want the bloodshed of the Ummah. See, this mindset they have. But today's ruler, they will do everything. You know, last year and a half and before that, all 75 years of Pakistan existed, all the bills are passed in parliament for the luxuries and comfort of the rulers, nothing for the citizens. Even when they are retired, they get millions of dollars, right? Pension. Subhanallah. This is not Islamic governments. This is where Imam Hussein, that is what is playing today, the Yazid mindset. And those who become Muslim, religious, powerful, they play same word. Yazid knew Quran. Do you know that? According to some reference, he was a Hafiz of Quran. And there were 3,000 Hufaz in the Yazid army and 300 Faqih. And what was the fatwa? Kill Hussein. See, you can be faqih, you could be alim, you could be muhaddis. Imam Bukhari, you know what? I have a problem with one point. He would not take any hadith from Imam Bakr. He would not take hadith from Imam Bakr. Who gave him this authority? And today the best book of hadith is Sahih Bukhari. Not that I am accusing of anything, but the thing is, read why he did not. The comment is, he thought he was fabricating hadith. Imam is fabricating hadith and you are a muhaddis. Where are you standing in front of Imam Bakr? Imam Jafar Sadiq, the grandson of Imam? Subhanallah. But then there are many. So when those letters were shown, he refused to take the account of that. He said, these are not my letters. I am the servant of the government. Yazid is my master. He ordered me. So why don't you take bay'ah on the hand of your cousin? This is what they say. Why don't you take bay'ah on the hand of cousin? Because they were related, you know. So what happened? Imam Hussein alayhi salam said one thing. When my grandfather, Rasulullah taught, when somebody who become the king and who made the forbidden of Allah be allowed, and who broke the covenant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his prophet, and to break the sunnah of his prophet, and he does the zulm, the transgression, and rebel against the command of Allah and his messenger and the Khulafai Rashidun before that. A Muslim must stand up and he has to stop it with his hand or say his word, and if the lowest level of iman is that he should think of bad in his heart. We don't have that kind of courage. We can't do that. I know I will not do it. I got a good job, man. I got my kids going to college. They got a job, you know. Imam Hussein was loved. He was actually, you know, the fifth of the money which comes from the Rasulullah's inheritance. It was not given to the wives. First came to Ali. Ali radiallahu ta'ala transferred it to Imam Hassan. Imam Hassan transferred it to Hussein. Hussein transferred it to Imam Zain al-Abidin. Fay is the money which would be coming, and it was their belonging, not the wife. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, when he was sitting in their home, in Salma's house, and Imam Hussein came in, Hassan and Hussein came in, then Ali came in, and Fatima came in, and this is mentioned 3 times. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ يُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْزَ وَأَهْلِ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Allah wishes to purify you and purify your children and family. Now, family means wife and biologically born children. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam said, Allahumma ha'ulai ahlil bayti yutahhiruhum. Ya Allah, these are my children, my family, and purify them. And he took his black shroud and covered them. So Salma said, I was there. I tried to put my head into the cloth to get in, and she said, I'm also. And he says, you are okay in your place. It was not that he rejected her. He said, you are from the Ahl Bayt already, because wives are wives of the Ahl Bayt. You don't need this definition. These people are added into my Ahl Bayt. And he said, whoever make peace with them, I have peace with them. Whoever war with them, I have a war with them. And he said, oh Allah, love the one who loves them, hate the one who hates them. It is the curse of Rasulullah. And Imam Hussein, when he got martyred, the bottle which has the dirt of Karbala with Salma, the only surviving wife of Rasulullah, it turned into blood. And she, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala, he was sleeping, he was in Mecca, and he was sleeping in the day. And he woke up after seeing a dream that he saw Rasulullah came in a very disheveled hair and dust. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, what happened? He said, just coming from Karbala, Hussein and his companions have been martyred there. And when he calculated that day, it was the 10th of Muharram. And he talked to Salma, and he said, that was the day I had this dream. And she said, this is the time when the bottle turned into blood. So these were foretold that these things will be happening. And this message was that Muslims, when they did not stand up, and hundreds and thousands of Muslims were there, not that it was not known, in Imam Hussein was not a very vocal person, but his personality was like Ali radiallahu anhu. And Rasulullah said in the hadith, Hassan is like me, and Hussein is like his Ali, because he was very much of a warrior kind of person. He was not a passive guy. He said, if that is to be settled, it have to be settled with the sword. If it should not be settled with the word. And this is what he said, I'm not backing up, I'm not going anywhere. If you're not going to let me in, I am not going to take bay'ah on the hand of Yazid or the Ibn Ziyad. He said, that is going to be the draw of line. You can take my head, but you cannot take my hand. And this is why this all happened. And according to the historical account, there's a very long lecture in which he said, do you know who I am? I am the grandson of Rasulullah, son of Ali, son of Fatima, the daughter of Rasulullah. I am the brother of Hassan, and I am the nephew of the Hamza. He noted every single name. It did not work. They still would not back off. They finally declared the war, and there are more khutbah, and much of people have written about it. And then he recited the Quranic verse, and he said by the Quran that it will be settled, that I'm not going to take bay'ah on a person's name who is not righteous. And this is where this whole matter come to end. Time is limited. We talk about a lot of things, but the fact is, today we are seeing in all over the world the concept where Imam Hussein was willing to sacrifice himself with all the children. And they said, that some people say it was a war for the power. Who brings newborn babies for the war? He didn't come with them. And he made khutbah in Mina, and 2 days before the Hajj. We will never leave the Hajj, right? If there was a war going on in anywhere, are we going to do the Hajj, missing Hajj? No. If our family is sick in America and our mother, father are dying and we hear about 2 days before the Hajj, that is, they are dying, I'm going to say, I'm going to make dua for them and I'm going to complete my Hajj. Imam Hussein left the Hajj and went for the task to save the mankind. And he left a message, as we know, that till Day of Judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made his remembrance as a part of Islamic creed and Islamic beliefs. And he is beloved to Allah and his messenger, and whatever happened after that, we know about it. Time is limited. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.